What's up guys, in today's video I'm going to teach you and I'm going to show you how to read and write files in C. You have to know one thing, that there are several ways to do this. You can do it by using the open function, which is the same for pipes, sockets and all that, or you can do it using a file pointer. We are going to use a file pointer because it's more simpler. So here, the first thing that we are going to do is to create a file to write files. So here we are going to create the file called writefiles.c, and now we have to do several things, such as including some libraries. The first one, the standard input-output library. The second one, the standard library, which is this one. And finally, we are just going to create a main that will return 0. So, how do we create that pointer that I told you? The first thing that you have to do is to declare the type. So, we put here file, this is the type of the file pointer, and now a variable. Since we said that it is going to be a pointer, we have to put here this, and we are going to put fp of file pointer. So, we initialize this to null, and now how do we open a file? There's a function for doing that, which is called fopen. So we are going to say that fp is going to be equal to the result of fopen, and here what we have to say now is the file name, the name of the file. We can put a string here saying new file.txt, and now we have to put in which mode do we want to open the file. This is important because there are several modes. Since we want to write, we just have to put here a string with one character, which is W. If we want to read, we have to put an R. And if we want to do this in a binary way, we can put W plus and R plus. But now we are going to do this in a normal way and we are going to write. So we are going to put here a W, and now the next thing that we have to do is to write in the file. But how do we write in the file? We can use the function fprintf, and this function is going to write whatever string you put in the file. So here we have to use the file pointer as you have seen here, and now we just put the file pointer fp and the string that we want to put. So for example, let's say hello, this is a test, and now we put this, so this ends. And this fprintf is is almost the same as the printf. So for example, if you have an integer and here you want to put this and this, it also works. Like, it's the same as the printf. So now what we can do is to close the file. How do we close the file? By using the fclose function. It is important to close it. So you close it like this, and now we have the program to write a file. So we are going to test that. Here in the terminal, this is the Ubuntu terminal, what we are going to do is that we are going to call gcc -o, and now we are going to put here write, we are going to call the executable write, and then we call the file write file. So there's not an issue here, and now what we are going to do is to call the executable. So we are going to put here write, and as you have seen here, now the new file.txt is created, and if we go inside, we can see that we have this string, which was the one that we wanted to have. So this is very useful. So now the next thing that we are going to do is to read a file. So first of all, we have to create the file that we are going to read. In this case, we are going to call it example.txt. So here we are going to put .txt, and we are just going to read, for example, hello 1, and now here in this case, hello 2, hello 3, and hello 4. We want to read these lines and display them in the terminal. So how do we do this? First of all, we have to create now the file in which we are going to put the program. So we are going to call this readfile.c. And now, as before, we have to import some libraries, but these ones are the same as the ones from before. So here we come, we put this, and now we are going to return 0, and that's it. We are finished. Now, the next thing that we have to put is to declare the file pointer. And it is the same thing as before. So we put here fp equal to null. And now, the next thing that we have to do is to open the file. But in this case, this is going to be a little bit different. So we have to put now the name of the file that we want to read, in this case, example.txt. And then the next thing that we have to do is to put the mode. And as I said before, the mode in this case is R, because we are going to read. So we put this here. And now we have opened the file to read it. So what we are going to do, since we know that the file contains 4 lines and all that, what we are going to do is to create a for loop in which we are going to read each line and we are going to display that line in the terminal. So we do this I++. And here, in order to read something from a file, we can use the function fscanf. But you can use also fgets, like there are several functions, but in this video we are going to use fscanf. So here, I put now the file pointer, and now it is the same as the scanf function. So how I have to put what I want to read, in this case a string. So I put here a string that ends with the new line, and here I have to say where do I want to store that string that I'm reading. So here what I'm going to put is, well, I'm going to create a new string called str of 10 characters, like for example, and now I put that. So the next thing is printing that string, and what I can put here is $S, new line, and print the str. So now finally we have to close the file. We close it in this way, and now the next thing is to compile. So for that we are going to do ccc-o. We are going to call this read file, and we execute. And as you can see here, we have the strings of the file. And that's how you read, and that's how also you write into a file. So if you understood how to do it, give it a like, share, subscribe, and see you in the next one.